My mom used to tell everyone I was a late bloomer. I didn't really need a bra until grade 9, but I got one anyway because it was cool. And I didn't get my period until the summer of my 14th birthday. Because I was an athlete, I didn't really want to get it, the way I had read about the girls in Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I had anticipated the nuisance of it all, the cumbersome pads, the annoying last-minute tampon changes before swim practice, but I certainly wasn't anticipating what actually happened to me, and that I would end up tearfully sharing this experience with you all 38 years later. Right from the start, my periods were painful, like vomit on the pool deck, pass out in the locker room painful. And they were long, like 3 to 4 weeks of intense bleeding, followed by a few days of reprieve before it would start all over again. This went on for the first 8 months of my menstruation, and it was suggested by my family doctor that I see a gynecologist to rule out any issues. This is where I told my son, who's over there, to put on his headset in case he doesn't want to hear embarrassing things about his mother. And so my mom took me to an old, cranky, and condescending man who performed my first internal exam, thankfully with my mother in the room. He told me he thought I had pelvic inflammatory disorder, and that was usually caused by an STD. But wait, I was a virgin. And that I needed drugs and a birth control prescription. And so I began taking the pill. And like almost any 15-year-old girl, I told a few friends. And they told a few friends, and so on, and so on. And so every time I went on a date in the 90s or shared a kiss with a boy in high school, he tried to go further, always saying, "But you're on the pill, right?" Right. I'm fortunate the first time I did end up having sex, I was in a loving and kind relationships, but the sex was complicated. It didn't work. We couldn't get it in. The pain was unimaginable, and I thought something was really, really wrong with me. We went to the Bay Center for Birth Control. I got to meet Sex with Sue for some support. I'm dating myself there. For some support, and they helped me discover that I had a retrograde uterus and a stress response that we now know as vulvodynia. But once again, the rumors spread. Leslie's a freak. She doesn't actually have a hoo-ha. She can only have sex in the pretzel position. These are the things that I heard about myself time and time again until I was in my mid-20s. But I just ignored it all and tried to rise above, bearing the hurt and the embarrassment. University brought lots of exciting opportunities and a unique and novel portfolio of new symptoms. Bladder issues, you're not wiping properly. Bowel disruptions, nervous stomach, difficulty swallowing and processing food. Maybe you need to go on a diet. And anxiety about the enormous amount of pelvic pain that I experienced every month. After collapsing one night at a frat party, I was rushed to the emergency room where I was diagnosed with appendicitis and quickly proceeded to surgery, where they found my appendix to be just fine. But I was riddled with something called endometriosis. The doctor told my worried parents that it was a career gal's disease, and it meant that I was infertile and I would never have children, but that should be the extent of it. I didn't get any better after that first surgery in 1992. I got worse, with more complicated symptoms, repeated bladder infections, daily gastrointestinal disruptions, food intolerances, skin rashes, neurological complications, and pain. Debilitating pain. I had to drop out of university and leave my friends. Doctors didn't believe me. I had every test imaginable, and I had my pelvis penetrated by more doctors than I could ever count. A few kind, most neutral, and some borderline inappropriate and verbally assaultive. All the while, I continued to get sicker. This is where Dr. Croft's going to know some people. Until I met Dr. Kai Lee in 2000, the head of the Endometriosis Association of Canada, one of the top specialists in endo excision. He took me under his strict but empathetic wing and performed my next surgery with the agreement that we would work together to build a complementary, healthful lifestyle to support my disease. He operated for 6 hours and discovered I had stage 4 endometriosis, deeply infiltrating my bowels, my bladder, ureters, and reproductive organs. He removed most of it and promptly put me on a strict macrobiotic lifestyle where I remained until I was 49 years old. Carefully managing my disease and trying to live my life to its fullest, dealing with flares when they arose, but feeling hopeful for my future. Until COVID 2020, and then long COVID 2021, and then the whole mess started all over again. the excruciating pain, the unexplained GI symptoms, the bladder and bowel problems, the strange food intolerances and rashes, endometriosis had come back with a vengeance and brought along her evil twin sister, adenomyosis. And the only cure for that one is hysterectomy. So in January 2024, at the age of 52 and a half, I opted to have yet another endometriosis surgery with Dr. Lee's skillful protege and my friend, Dr. Grace Liu, at the helm, performing an excision and full hysterectomy with the hopes of closing the book on my long, sad, and complicated relationship with my reproductive organs and praying that my immune system is strong enough to keep endometriosis from returning. And of course, throwing a little good luck my way won't hurt. I have dreams of a bigger life than the one I have led thus far. My goal is to help young women get the care and support they need so they never have to go through what I went through. And if I'm able to make that happen, this painful, heartbreaking, and at times unnavigable life that I have led thus far will have a greater purpose. Endometriosis kills so many dreams, but with better research and treatment options available, with the fierce advocacy from all of you guys, women can hopefully get a better chance to try to pursue your own dreams. Thank you so much.